Grace, I forgot if unsaon pag-pronounce. Ime?
Email.
Okay. So, here ang mga joiner diri is the joiners here or the attendees are across Philippines, char. They're from either Bicol, Manila, pero majority are Bisaya. So, please let me know if you can understand if magbisaya ko kay maglisod naman jud ko magtagalog but I can still speak in Tagalog. I'll try my best. So yeah, good morning everyone. Before I start, I would like to let you know that I'll be recording this session because I'll be utilizing this to share to other aspiring freelancers na maka-start sila sa kanilang freelancing career. So yeah, to start with, I will introduce myself first. My real name is 𝘀𝗶𝘅-𝗶𝗶 and you can call me Megs, others call me Mary, others call me Ree, Megs, Riri, something like that. But you can always call me Megs in this session. Do not call me boss because I'm not a boss. Yeah, before we start, I'd like to let you know that you can ask questions later part of the session. So let's focus on discussing what are the things that I can share with you based on my freelancing career. So to give you a background, I was in BPO industry for 8 years. I started as an agent and I became a team leader, supervisor up to operations manager. And after 8 years, I decided to switch my career to freelancing. And I had, multiple part-time jobs, and I've also included it in my resume, which I'll be presenting later. Aside from that, I'm currently working with US clients as project manager. So I'm handling their business, their social media as well, their websites. And I manage less than 10 people. Right now, I'll be sharing my screen so we can start. So yeah, by the way guys, dili ko kanang super expert, but I'm just doing this so I can share my journey, how I started, and what made clients not really chase is the right term, but what made them reach out to me instead of me reaching out to them. So that's why I'm highlighting 2 topics right now. It's making resume and profile that stick that will entice the clients to hire you. In this session, we will be discussing about how you can craft your resume using ChatGPT, and from ChatGPT you can 𝗀𝗏 it to rephrase it to ensure that there's no copywriting issues. And then the purpose of this is just for me to share what I know and what I learned in my journey in freelancing, and the why well-crafted resume and profile help a freelancer succeed is if you're looking for a direct client in the US, they are always looking for a long resume that will translate to your effort, that you did everything that you can to create your resume. But before we move on to resume making, I'll highlight the things that you need to do before you even think of making a resume. You have to understand what's in freelancing. So first is identify your niche. So remember, I sent you a note about ChatGPT and 𝗀𝗏. So if you wanted to know what's your niche that's applicable for your role right now or with your experience, you can ask ChatGPT with it. So let me show you a sample. So this is ChatGPT and I've tried it myself earlier. So for example, I wanted to know what's the best niche for me, because this is the problem that starters are experiencing, that I came from BPO, how can I transition to freelancing? I don't have any experience, and that is okay. So what you can do is to ask ChatGPT here. So I type here, give me a freelancing niche I can apply for given the following experiences. So I indicated here, I was a customer service representative, a team leader, telco account, and financial account. And please write in English language. So when I commanded the ChatGPT with that, it gave me various options that I can apply for, whether a general virtual assistant, customer support specialist, social media manager, content writer, bookkeeper, sales representative. So if you're confused yet on what niche you wanted to get into, you can ask questions, specific questions, and make sure to put a detailed experience here, not just like this. I'm just showing it to you so you will have an idea. So this is ChatGPT, and were you guys able to access it?
Accessing it now.
Okay. Cool. So going back, so that's how you will identify your niche. Make sure your command in ChatGPT is very specific. Like any experience that you had, you can put it there. Now, once you're able to identify your niche, your next step is to do a research. For example, we identified, I can do an executive assistant. So being an executive assistant, you need to research what are the things that an executive assistant is doing. So, or what are they doing to help the clients? What are they doing to organize the stuff, or all the all the things that her client needs? So you have to identify the tools. Let's say for organizing calendar, they have Calendly, you have Google Calendar, you have Zoom, so you can research on that and then identify what are the tools that they can use in organizing their tasks, like Monday.com, Google Sheet if they don't want to pay for the platform, and what are the preferred communication method that your client or majority of the CEO wants, like WhatsApp, Telegram, Skype, Slack. Those are platforms that you can research into. But what you need to identify first is your niche, and then research on the tools that they are using and all the platforms that can help you explain or sell yourself during the interview with a client. Even if you don't know how to use it, for example, myself, I don't know how to use Monday.com as one of the platforms that they're using for organizing tasks. I did my research, and once I already have or familiarize myself and have a little knowledge, I am claiming it that I am familiar with this tool. And in the event that they ask questions like, so tell me how you organize it, I will tell them, I'm organizing it like this, like use a traffic light system, like highlighting the urgent one, color red, color amber for the important ones, and the least important color green. So that's how I organize things. So even if I'm not familiar with Monday.com, I will claim that I know it because I am familiar with it. Then if they ask you, questions that you are not really familiar with, just be honest that it's been a while that I used that platform. Probably there are some changes, but that's something that I can further research if you will hire me. So next is the resume and profile. So since you already identified your niche, you did research with the tools and anything that's needed for that role as an executive assistant, now what you will be creating is your resume that's intended for an executive assistant role that you wanted to apply, and a profile that's also updated once you created your resume. Now let's go to crafting an effective resume. So there you go. So I highlighted here that we have to choose the right format. Right format is very important to ensure that your resume is organized, and it can be long, really depending on you. But I will be showing you a 5-pager resume that I used when I applied last December. So you will be highlighting your relevant skills and achievements. Make sure you use clear and concise language, wherein ChatGPT is something that you can really utilize to make sure that it's a matter of right command by inputting your instruction to ChatGPT so they can generate you a better statement to put in your resume. But do not just copy and paste. That's why proofread and edit for errors is necessary. So you can use it as a guide or as a base cases and start from there. You can use 𝗀𝗏𝗏, which I sent to you earlier. So it's a free one wherein you can have the fluency conversion from what you got from ChatGPT. So to ensure that there's no copyright from the statement that you got. But if you wanted to have like a creative version, a shorter version, a longer version, you can upgrade your 𝗀𝗏𝗏. But I don't recommend that. That's expensive. But if you can afford it, go ahead. So here is my resume. Let me know if you can see my screen for the resume. So as you can see here, I have one for executive assistant, I have one for project manager, and I have one for social media manager. Since the niche that I'm discussing right now is about an executive assistant, let's open the executive assistant CV. So I learned and adapted the CV based on the training that I had in the past or last year. And I do believe that this is something that, everyone should know because you can earn 6 digits from just by you crafting an effective resume. So yeah, the first part is putting your name. And here you can see the list of roles like customer service project manager, customer service team manager, graphic design video editor. So in this side, this is intended for the roles that you are applying for. You can put multiple roles here depending on the skills that you have. Like, remember we went to ChatGPT and there's this niches that we identified. So you can put that if you're confident that you can take that kind of role. So going back here, then your photo should be professional photo, and you can either put this one on the left side. It depends on you, whatever design you wanted to have, you can always optimize it. And then here it's a slogan like, what can you do for the client? Like, for example, I'm applying for an executive assistant and I will be organizing your chaos. I do it so you don't have to. So creating catchy slogan is something that can entice them to hire you. For example, is there someone who chatted? Yes,
I met with me. I'm not just sure if everyone is seeing this also, but looks like your presentation is like a bit smaller. Can we somehow maximize the screen so we can see clearly the CV that you are presenting?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Is it a lot better?
A lot better. Thank you, Meg.
Sorry. Thank you for calling that out. So yeah, going back, for example, I don't know how to look for a slogan. You know what you can do? Copy paste this. Copy and go to ChatGPT. Where's my ChatGPT here? Then you can type create a slogan or catchy slogan for, let's say, social media manager, similar to this. So here, ChatGPT gave you an example. You can also give me more examples. So you have options. So it's a matter of you commanding ChatGPT on what you wanted to get from ChatGPT. So there you go. You have a lot of examples already that you can paste there. All you have to do is to be picky on what really matches to what you're looking for. So going back to the CV, the next part of it, so we do have your name, your roles that you're applying for, your photo, and then your slogan. And then the next is your mission, vision, goals, or objectives. So this is very important because what the client is really looking for is what you can offer to them. So you can also, on my experience, I did it personally. Like, I had to Google it, Google what are the missions of executive assistant, what are the vision, what are the goals, and I had to rephrase, edit, and everything. But right now, since ChatGPT has been introduced, you can just ask ChatGPT for a suggestion on what are, or give me an example of the executive assistant mission, vision, and objectives for freelancing application. So you will see it here that ChatGPT gave me mission, vision, and objectives. So that's what you can do as well. Make sure to be specific with the role that you are really looking for. Next, after the mission, vision, and goals, the next is your contact information, like your mobile number. Make sure it starts with our Philippine number, which is +639, and your number. Then your WhatsApp number. This is necessary because sometimes they always communicate, direct clients are really communicating through WhatsApp or Telegram. Then your Skype ID. So let me see my Skype. Oh, my Skype is installing, so never mind. But I think you guys know anyway how to get the Skype ID from the settings. And your email address, if you don't want to involve your, personal email address to your work email address, I'd highly recommend you to create a new one. And make sure it's not like an email address that that has numbers. Make sure it's easy to remember. Like just your first and last name, meaning it should be professional. Just like this one, I am 𝗲𝗏𝗃𝗏. So yeah, going back to Skype Live ID, you can go to settings and then look for your Skype name, which is this one. That's what you will be copying and paste it here. So they can reach out to you if they wanted to have a meeting with you through Skype. And then your Facebook account. Now, this is not my personal Facebook account. I separate business and personal, so that's why I created a different Facebook account. LinkedIn profile. So if you already have your LinkedIn profile, you can paste the link already here. So what you need to do is to go to your profile, and then just copy this link above, and then just paste it to your resume. onlinejobs.ph. So if you already created your onlinejobs.ph, you can see it here, but for you to see it, so here in your if you click this icon, you can just copy this one and then paste it to your CV here. Now, for these two, LinkedIn and onlinejobs.ph, do not stress yourself first. What you need to focus on is to create your resume. So leave this blank, these two for now, and then you can just copy and paste this one once you are done with your resume. Because after this session, you will have 7 days. Within 7 days, if you wanted to tell me that you will be successful in this career, as soon as you start, send me your resume within 7 days. I will check it personally. If it's already ready to go, ready to submit, then that is telling me that I am ready for this. I am ready to jump in this career. I am ready to start. So once I already confirm with you that, yeah, that's already perfect. And you can already create or optimize your profile. But before we go to optimization of profile, let's move on to the next part. Now, you can see here a footer. I just place it here. It's like a motto that, it's just a design to make my profile aesthetic. So this is something that you can just remove if you don't like. But you can go back to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what's the best motto for an executive assistant. And then you can modify it, optimize it, then just paste it here. Put your name here. So the client will remember, oh yeah, this is Mary Rose. Then your email address, contact number, your address. And yeah, moving on the second page, you will see here my experience already. So make sure on the second page up to the last page of your resume, there is a header that states your name. So whoever reads your resume will know that, oh yeah, this is the applicant, Mary Rose. So the client or the one who's reading it or the recruiter will know that, will remember your name. That's just a psychology approach for that. So let's go to your job experience. I'll just run through this quickly. Now, here, the start and the end of your work with a company. And if it's project-based, full-time, it can be full-time, it can be part-time. Now, this one is the company that you work with, and you can see here the logo, like the company and the project that I work with. And the reason why there's image here or logo of the company that I work with is I want them to know that direct clients or US clients or any other clients overseas are after, the images. If you will send them a lot of page and there's no image, they will probably get tired of, reading your resume. But it's better if there's an image just to attract the reader or the client that's reading your resume. So here you can see what was your role. So my role was operations manager. But you can see here, I modified it to project operations manager and executive support analyst. Because remember, I am applying for an executive assistant role. So even if my previous role was project operations manager, I indicated here executive support analyst because my job role, the executive support analyst is also part of the tasks that I did in the past in that company. So that's why even in the job profile or the job role that I had in my previous experience is not this one. I added this because that is part of the tasks that they asked me to do. So next, the first bullet point here is the history of the company. Now, if you wanted to know what's the history of the company, you can check Google. What's the history of Accenture? What's the history of Google? So you can either put here what you think is best. Let's say you wanted to put Google, you can put that there. But since I wanted to highlight the history of Accenture, so that's what I Googled and I just copy and paste it here. You can either copy and paste, or it's better if you search it in Google or search it in check it in ChatGPT, and then you can modify it using 𝗀𝗃𝗏. Next bullet point, you can put on the second, third, fourth, and fifth, what are the tasks that you were responsible from that job role. Now, if you are unsure what to put, you can always ask ChatGPT and indicate a question. Make sure that you put your existing job roles, so ChatGPT will be specific in the information that you will be providing. So here, second, third, fourth, fifth, I have here add-on tasks that on top of the previous, administrative support, analytical, and managing projects that I've done. I'm also responsible for recruitment process. Any ad hoc tasks that was given to you, you can put that there. Now, another bullet point that you can place here on the last part, if you want the sixth bullet point, is put your achievements, any recognition that you had in the past. You are free to put that there. Now, the rest are just the previous roles that I've handled, so I will not be tackling that anymore, including my part-time, my other full-time jobs. And here, let's move on to the next part, education and trainings. You will be indicating here the logo of your school that you went to, and then the year that you graduated, your course, and then the trainings that you've joined. Now, all the trainings that you had ever since you started your career from BPO or from other jobs that you landed, you can put it here. Any training, even just a Microsoft training if you had in the past, you can put it here and make sure to remember na hindi siya 2020. Hindi siya 2023, because make sure na mag-match siya sa dates na yun yung role mo. So if back in 2020, you were handling real estate, virtual assistant, then you should not have a training here about real estate na ilalagay mo na 2023, because that will not match your experience versus the trainings that you had. So then the next part is are the logos. So ito yung pinaka-importante for me, because it's not just aesthetic, but these are the tools that you know. For example, alam mo paano mag-manage ng, or galing ka sa Sprint, galing ka sa T-Mobile na account, ilagay mo lang yan dyan. You know how to use Skype, so you put it there. Alam mo paano maggamit ng Google Suite, then lahat ng to, ilagay mo siya. But make sure, whatever you put there, you know how to use it. And even if you don't know, at least you are familiar with it. So if you manage Instagram account, for example, Jackie mentioned she used to manage Instagram messages. Ilagay mo dyan yung icon ng Instagram para they will know na you know this tool and this person can help me. And everything here are just the tools that I know. You can have a lot, really depending on your experience and depende rin sa research mo. Kasi diba, after you identify your research, your niche, as I mentioned earlier, next step is to research about the tools. Ano yung platform na ginagamit nila. So, if naka-research ka na and then feeling mo, kaya mo i-defend yung self mo sa mag-interview sa'yo na, ay, parang familiar na ako neto. So, you can claim it and then lagay mo siya dito. So, it's not like lying, but it's because if you would tell them that, yeah, I'm an expert, so that's already lying because you are not an expert. But if you tell them that familiar ako sa tool na to, then that means you are not lying because you did your research. So the last page is character references. So now my tip here, if I know you guys are with existing jobs or full-time jobs right now, I highly recommend that whoever joins in this session, I'll be asking your full details because it's us supporting each other. Put the names of the people who attend here as your character references. So, yun lang. That's my 5-pager resume. And I will not show to you anymore who are those people kasi hindi ko sila lahat kilala. Those were just my colleagues during one of the trainings that I've joined with. So, kaya not necessary na siya. So, moving on. Now we move on to optimizing your online profile. You have to choose the right platform. What platform am I going to apply? Optimize your profile for search engines by using keywords and phrases and using a professional profile photo and headline and highlighting what are your unique skills and value or expertise that you can offer to your clients. So let me exit this and go to my 2 profiles. So in my applications, I only used 2, LinkedIn and onlinejobs.ph. So when I started, I used LinkedIn. But since I was not happy with the offer, I opted to use online jobs and focus only on onlinejobs.ph. But I created a lot of profile from, I forgot the website for free. Probably it was freelancer.com, Upwork. And then there's so much platform that I know you guys are aware of. Because I know that before you joined here, you also did your research. So now the reason why your CV creation or your resume creation is very important because all you have to do is to just copy and paste whatever you put in your resume to your profiles. So that's how you will be optimizing your profile. Really just copy pasting what you have from your resume. So for example, here, project manager, executive assistant, social media manager, graphic design, and everything. I got this from my resume, from the first part of my resume, which is here. This one. So since there's limited text that is required, just be specific like project manager, graphic design, e-commerce, real estate, social media, executive assistant, data analyst. So that's how you will be starting to optimize your profile. Now the next part is put your about information. Now this one, when I started applying, what I did was I copy and pasted what I have from my resume, which is my mission, vision, and goals. Now, I removed it because it is very effective that in your resume, I mean, in your LinkedIn profile, they will see what are the tools that you know or you're familiar with, and a brief summary only of the tasks that you've handled in the past. So, yung ganitong about info, patulong kayo kay ChatGPT. Or what you can do is copy and paste nyo to, create a similar about info for my LinkedIn profile for an executive assistant, tapos i-paste nyo lang to. So that's what you can do. Or the very effective one is make sure to identify the tools that you're familiar with. Tapos ipa-organize nyo na on the skills and expertise that you have. Ipa-organize nyo kay ChatGPT. Sabihin nyo na, pretend you're an expert, create an about info for my LinkedIn profile, and make sure to indicate the following. So, ilagay nyo doon yung skills, expertise, the tools that you know. So, bibigyan nyo na kayo ng answer. Then, you can already put an about info here. Tapos, dito naman, experience, whatever you put in your CV, lagay nyo na lang siya dyan. Your education, and everything. Yun lang. Ganun nyo lang siya i-optimize. And this one, the photo, you can have your profile photo from your Facebook account. Make sure that it's still professional, like semi-professional. And then you can also paste here the link of your onlinejobs.ph. Then you can also indicate that you're open for work, what are the services that you're providing, and you can always message me in the GC that I'll be creating after the session if you have any clarification for this, or you can ask that question after our session. So, yun lang about sa LinkedIn. Now, let's move on to onlinejobs.ph. Onlinejobs.ph is my favorite. So, just to share my applications before I landed to my perfect client, I think it was 200 plus. And the reason why it was 200 plus, because in onlinejobs.ph, there is every day you can apply 10 times. You can only submit 10 applications. And what I did, aside from that 10 applications, there are some opening or roles na pinopost dyan na you have to send an email to them. So I made sure that I send 5 to 10 emails if may makita akong bago on top of the 10 over 10 na meron si onlinejobs.ph, because the more you apply, the more chances of you getting hired. But the main goal here is to not just get hired, but to pick which is the best client that you think is best for you, that hindi ka nila ilolowball. Kasi if, of course, Philippines, there's a lot of freelancers already. A lot of people are considering it na ang dami na talaga and you don't have a room for it. But honestly, ang dami ng freelancers. Pero if you know what you can offer to your client, what services you can provide, even if you're not an expert for it, your mindset that you wanted to get into a perfect client that matches to your personality, your behavior, your goals, then you can definitely land into the client that you dream of. So now in going back on the first part of your onlinejobs.ph, you will be putting here your top 3. So, but usually others are placing just 1, but me, I place it top 3 because I just believe that these are my expertise. I can manage projects like this, or I can handle business like this, or roles like this. So expected salary naman. So sa desired salary kasi, can choose. For example, your expected salary is 65,000, automatic siya dito. Ay, bakit to? Pinapahiya ko na ito. But here, 40 plus hours is the number of hours that you wanted to work, or your availability to work if you're looking for a full-time job. So, dito, makaka-choose ka kung ano yung desired salary mo sa, tip lang na masasabi ko. If you are earning right now, siguro mga 30K, sabihin mo you're earning 55,000. You put here parang yung desired salary mo is already the salary that you were getting before. Pero kunyari lang yun. So, let's say you wanted to have more than 100,000 but make sure this one will translate to the services that you can offer. Kasi hanggang more than 100K lang nandito, so yun yung maximum mo. And then, but that doesn't mean na yun na yung i-offer ni client. There are interviews na, for example, ang nakalagay mo dito, ang expected salary mo is 65,000. Pero the client is offering around $10 per hour. So that's already a lot, which is more than 65,000. So depende talaga siya. Depende sa skills mo. But if you can personally message me if how much ang pwede mong ma-ask based sa experience mo. That's something I can help you with as well. So for the overview, this one, as I've mentioned, these are just the roles that you had an experience with. So balik naman tayo sa CV that you have. Dito mo rin siya kukunin. Pili ka lang kung ano yung maximum na kayang i-accept or the maximum limit ng text dito sa experience overview. You can either put here your roles and your skills combination. Basic information. So, i-hide ko naman to yung basic information ko. Here, IQ. After pala mag-setup nyo ng onlinejobs.ph, if you haven't set up your own, may IQ test. Sorry, IQ ko 115 lang. So, baka may mataas sa inyo dyan. Okay lang yan. So, yung DISC profile, I know some of you guys already know what's the DISC profile. Ang tip ko lang, di ba, since marunong naman kayo mag-identify kung paano maging dominance, paano maging influential. Make sure na mataas yung dominance and compliance nyo. Kasi that's where the organizational skills and yung decision making mag-fall. Tapos mag-take din kayo ng assessment for English. Alam mo, mag-google nyo lang yung mga answer. So, pero I forgot kung may timer, correct me if I'm wrong later. Dito, make sure na nasa C1 or C2 kayo para it's something na para advantage nyo sa other applicants. Ay, magaling to mag-English. Pero hindi naman talaga ibig sabihin na dapat magaling ka mag-English. Something that you need to keep in mind is magaling ka makipag-converse. Now, skill summary. You will put here your experience as project manager, what are your skills, what you did, but summary lang. Kung ano yung linagay mo sa CV profile mo or sa resume, yun din yung ilalagay mo dito, but just modify it. And do not forget to put the tools that you are familiar with and that you are an expert. So dito para safe ako, linagay ko na familiar lang ako sa tools. Kasi if I claim na expert ako, baka in the end, pagawin ko ng, stuff na hindi ko na pala kaya. So that's why, to be safe, I just indicated here na I'm familiar with these tools. So basically, that's it for profile optimization. And let me see. By the way, for the availability, you can put here the hours of availability. But if you really wanted to look for a full-time job, you can put 40 plus here, 40 plus hours. So now, before you can apply sa jobs, sa onlinejobs.ph, you have to be ID proof, but I can just give you a brief walkthrough. So they will ask you to upload your valid ID, tapos parang billing address to verify your address that you will be putting here. So whatever you put here sa address, dapat yun din yung mag-reflect sa bills na i-upload mo. Tapos it may take, I think, 3 days before ka ma-approve. Tapos pag na-approve ka na, saka ka makaka-start mag-apply. Now, how can you apply? What you can do is, if you're looking for a social media manager role, just have to search it here. Tapos, you can either select if full-time ang hanap mo, part-time, or freelance. If you wanted to have full-time, so ganitin mo lang siya, and then it will give you the social media manager role that you're looking for na full-time. Now, the trick here is you have to be specific in checking the name. If gusto mo talaga direct client, di ba malalaman mo naman if yung last name ng person dito is from US. Kasi malalaman mo if Filipino yung nag-post eh. But if you're willing to settle for working in an agency, it's fine. So if gusto mong agency, I recommend either look for Support Shepherd and Phyllis and Song. So those are the two agencies that I love. Tapos, for example, eto si 𝘀𝗶𝗄. I'm assuming na siya, foreigner na siya. Tapos i-check ko to, see more. And then, you will see here na may requirement siya ID proof. Kaya kailangan mong mag-upload ng IDs mo, ng proof of billing mo para tumaas yung ID proof mo. Tapos, sa salary is negotiable. So, basahin mo to thoroughly. Now, you have to be careful here because ano yung mga tools na dapat mong alam. Dapat, before the interview, mag-research ka na ano ba ang ginagawa ng social media manager. Or ano ba yung requirement sa tools. So if you're not familiar with the tools, then research. Just to know, have knowledge, theoretical knowledge of that specific tools. And be honest. Like, for example, they ask you about this tool. Just let them know that, yes, I am familiar with the tool. At the same time, my expertise is not at 100%. But that's something that I can work on along the way. Tapos, dito naman, you can see here how to apply. Make sure you read through it because if you miss anything, tapos apply ka lang sa kanila, like mag-apply for this job ka, di mo binasa yun sa last part, that you need to do is to join Skype, right? So, dapat, eto yung i-follow mo. Hindi yung apply for this job. Next thing naman is, ano yung subject line mo? I can send you probably a document on multiple subject lines that you can utilize. Tapos, ano yung pitch or message mo na isa-send kay customer, kay client, sorry. Tapos, yung contact info mo dito is your email address. Kasi, yung email address ko na nakalink sa online jobs ko is my personal. So, to make sure that they will email me to this, at least I indicated here my contact information. Tapos, here, there's an update. Yeah, just send an email. I don't want to send an email here, but yeah, I can just send you a sample on how, or I can show it right now on how I send. Wait, I'll just hide this during the session. Now, for example, so these people are, chasing. This one is I can give you an example. So, eto kanyari. Yes, I was the one who applied. So, eto yung message ko sa kanya, project manager, best candidate ever. Kasi eto yung lalabas sa subject line mo. So, hey, ganyan-ganyan. The Google Drive is the link sa CV ko. Tapos, ganyan na siya. So, this one, no problem with this. I've went through a lot of applications, so I can give you samples for this one, Google Docs. And the reason why putting Google Drive here is very important kasi since you're applying, you need to make sure that you send to them your CV right away without having them ask you for it. Tapos magre-reply sila, ganyan. So it's up to you if you are still interested to apply. So hindi na ako nag-reply sa kanya kasi hindi ako interested. Pero ang dapat talaga dito is if you're not interested, you have to send a message na you're not interested. Kasi possible na ma-feedbackan ka nila for ghosting them, parang ganon. So, that's it for profile optimization and how you can send a message. And so, this is what I can say to you guys. Good luck sa job hunting if you guys wanted to take the leap of, switching your career, because 6 digits or more than 6 digits is possible for this career. You just need to be effective in doing research. Upskilling is really the key for this freelancing career. Even if you started with no knowledge, that is totally fine. If you are always hungry for learning, definitely that is something that you can bank on and you will go a long way. So, we are now in a question and answer portion. Do not be shy. I can answer any of your questions that I am familiar with. If hindi ako familiar and if it will take too long for a walkthrough, I can just send a video in our GC para makita ng lahat. Tapos, I highly recommend na if you guys can share your feedback to me on how I facilitated this one. You can scan the QR code here and let me know. So, yeah, did you guys send me, and put something in Q&A? So, I'm not seeing anything in the Q&A, so I'm assuming you guys will be asking real time. So, yeah. So, who guys have any questions, clarification?
Ay, Meg, kuha ka na ba? Duha o. hawa sa corporate. Ay, Mex, wa ka nagkuhan sa kanang corporate nga, sa BPO, na ni-shift ka o VA.
You mean if dili ko nagduha-duha in shifting? It took me 3 months to decide. But a year ago, pinag-isipan ko na talaga siya. Pero hindi ako ready kasi nag-school pa ako noon. After my graduation, that was a time na parang feeling ko kaya ko. Pero alam mo yon, mahirap na overnight mo siyang i-decide kasi you don't know what you're getting into. Parang iniisip mo kasi na what if hindi siya stable? So, babalik ako sa corporate job. Parang back to zero na naman ako as an agent, jumping to corporate ladder. But when I joined one training about resume, about Amazon, about real estate, yun yung nakapag-decide sa akin. Just like this. Yun yung the following day, I started creating my profile. It took me 5 days to finally create it. And after a week, I started submitting. Every day, I started to submit applications. So, ayun. Did I answer your question, Jackie?
Yes, Mex. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sino ba may question? Like tools, any tips that you wanted to ask me?
Yes, hi, Megs. Good morning.
Morning, Chess. Ikaw yan, Chess.
Yes, it's me. Yeah. When it comes to the resume or the about me or sending an application, is it wise to put in the preferred schedule or something?
Like, ano yung gusto mong schedule sa work?
Parang ganun, yes.
No. Kasi magiging siyang red flag na you're not flexible. So, if gusto mo talaga na morning yung shift mo, look for Australian clients kasi same shift sila sa atin.
Okay. All right.
Cool. We're still open for questions. Just let me know. Ask any questions that you think can help you. That you think you will be needing to ask me later on. Kasi honestly, I am really fully booked with schedule. So I work 5 days a week. On weekends, sometimes I'm mentoring some. It's a one-on-one session from conception to hiring. So, ganon. Kaya ngayon lang talaga ako na free to do this. Sino pa may tanong? May nag-message ba? Is it worth it? Yeah, totally. It's really worth it. Parang ano siya, like, yung pagod mo is... Sorry.
Nagsirinig ako.
I can hear you. I read your message as well, if it's worth it. So, worth it siya.
But I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, based experiences mo when it comes to interviews, ano yung mga typical na kine-question nila na we need to be ready with kasi baka magkaroon ng red flags o mga ganun? Mga marirecommend mo.
Oo. So usually, tatanungin nila, tell me about yourself. Yung tell me about yourself, dapat naka-structure yan. Like past, present, and future. So like the past, what are your, like, my name is Mary. You can call, my name is 𝗀𝗲𝗄𝗏, so you can call me Mary. I work in BPO industry for 8 years. Tapos, yung past experience mo, yung present, like, my hobbies are this and that. And then, indicate mo din sa present yung skills that you're familiar with, what you can offer to the client. And the future means, what are the things that can help the client? Kasi diba, before ka mag-get into an interview, mag-a-apply ka muna. And your tell me about yourself should be tailored fit sa kung ano yung qualifications na nakalagay sa requirements na nakalagay sa onlinejobs.ph na ina-applyan mo. So, I can also share a format in a document, like sample, tell me about yourself that I used in the past interviews that I had, para madali na lang sa inyo on how you can create your own.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I mean, last pala, mayroon pala ako. Sorry.
Sige lang.
Ayun. Parang, kasi di ba sabi mo kanina, as long as you're familiar with the tools. Kasi yun talaga ang isa sa struggle ko. Although nakakuha na ako ng contract dun sa Upwork, at the end of the day, dinecline ko siya kasi natakot ako. Kasi familiar ako sa isang tool, pero hindi talaga ako totally like expert. But when I did the interview, I said, I am quite an expert already. Pero yun, parang nung na-accept ko na yung contract, nagdalawang isip na ako yan. Nag-reason out na lang ako ng bagong contract na binigay sa akin. So, how should I handle that kind of situation?
Di ba, nasabi mo na you're an expert with it. So, how can you, prove that you're an expert with that tool? So, gawin mo, after the interview, start ka na mag-research. Do a deep research on that tool para pag nag-start ka na ng work, along the way, every day, you have to, for example, paano sabihin mo nga sa akin anong tool para I can relate.
Yung PR, yung sa video editing.
Okay. So, for example, may effects.
Yung PR.
Okay. For example, may effects na gusto silang ipalagay sa video editing. So, ang gawin mo, i-google mo siya how to add this effect. So, daily, if may bagong hindi ka familiar na gawin dun sa tool, research mo lang. That's why research is really the first skill na meron ka if you wanted to get into it. Kasi ako, when I started, I don't know what, the tool that they gave me, but I just said I'm familiar. So every day, if may bigay sila na task, i-google ko siya. Paano kaya to gamitin? So minsan, if may mga nakakakilala ako na, ay, parang alam to ni ganito. So that's why networking is very important para if may skill sila na di mo alam, you can ask them.
Ayun, thank you. So, fake it till you make it na lang talaga kasi nasabi na sa interview.
Correct. Totally.
Kinabahan ako bigla eh.
Any questions?
None for me, Meg.
Okay, how about the rest?
I'm good to Megs. Thank you.
None so far. Thank you, Megs.
Ang uban?
Sorry, Megs. One more question. Sorry.
What is
I
that?
like how you... Hindi ba? Baka sugun. Pero... Ano ba? Nakalimutan. Ayun. So I saw yung sa resume mo. I like what you mentioned about yung choosing the right words and yung phrases saka yung structure. But is it possible to share yung resume later so I can have a guide also?
Yung
Diba?
resume ko? Yeah, I can share it kasi old resume ko naman siya. So, part yun sa send ko sa GC that I will be creating. So, you guys can make your own as well and use it as a basis.
Right. And you have 3, no? Based on, depending on what you're applying for. Parang ganun.
Sorry.
Iba-iba siya. Sorry. Di ba 3 yun? Like, you have different resumes for different posts.
That's totally right. Actually, hindi siya copy, same lang talaga siya. Ang difference lang, let me show it to you. Ang difference lang niya is yung mission, vision, and goals, tsaka yung slogan ko. Doon lang siya nagde-differ. Ito lang yung minodify ko. So, dito, I manage the unmanageable kasi project management yung ina-applyan ko. Now, dito naman, I manage social channels kasi social media manager yung ina-applyan ko. So, mission, vision, and goals here is tailored fit as well sa social media manager. So, are you asking if I will be sending all of it?
No, that's fine. I mean, thank you for explaining na konti lang naman pala yung
yun lang
difference
talaga.
between this.
Sa mission, vision, and goals lang. Kasi before, when I started to apply, isa lang talaga yung resume ko. Then I realized na parang mas maganda if iba-iba. Depende ko anong niche yung preferred mo. And it took me some time to realize ano talaga yung niche na gusto ko. For example, ikaw, Chester, you are a team leader / coach, diba? So you can also claim to apply for a project manager role kasi not all the project manager role, you will be handling a lot of people. Sa akin, I'm only handling less than 10 people. So,
Okay.
in your, asa na yung resume ko. In your resume, you can indicate there, ilang tao ba yung hinandle mo nung nag-handle ka ng, parang I indicated here, ay sorry, wala na. Pero you can indicate here, ilang tao yung hinandle mo. Basta sorry, wala na. Iba na pala to. So yun, para they will know that, this person was able to manage a team.
Okay. All right. And sorry, follow-up question. So, your work experience is very extensive. Right? What about educational background? There's no need for that sa resume.
Nandun siya sa resume. Dito mo siya. Ito lang,
Okay.
education trainings lang. So, yung education, ito lang linagay ko. So, the last school that I went to, yun lang yung linagay ko. If meron ka multiple schools na pinasukan, so yung most recent lang yung ilagay mo dito.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Then, if for example, undergraduate, you can put here the time na nag-school. I mean, the month and year, or the year lang. Pwede na din.
Got it.
Cool. Any other questions? We still have 10 minutes. Tanong na kayo, guys. Tapos pala, since wala pa kayong tanong, research kayo ng mga tools agad if ma-identify nyo na yung niche nyo. If like best tools to use for that niche. Kasi yun din yung ginawa ko. Like familiarize ko yung tools, especially AIs, artificial intelligence. That's really important. Tapos hanap din kayo ng mga free lang, yung mga walang bayad na tools na gagamitin nyo for your role.
Hey, one more question, Meg.
Sure.
Sorry. Let's say, so you applied for a job, right? Then you got accepted. Start na ba agad ito, or is there a training for that or something?
Depende, Chess. Kasi, for example, mag-apply ka sa agency, Fellas and Song. Meron silang training, but it's just mindset training. So, if mag-apply ka sa freelancing, dapat you already know what to do. So, if you don't know what to do, mag-research ka na ano yung mga pwede mong gawin. Kasi more on independent worker na walang training. You have to do it your own.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. But your researching talaga, Chess, is something that you can rely on. Mag-research ka lang paano, like, for example, tanungin ka ng boss mo na marketing strategy. I-research mo sa TikTok, YouTube, what are the best marketing strategies for this business kasi you're managing a project. Then, for your question about starting, depende siya eh. May mga clients na, sige, start ka March 15. If na-hire ka, na sinabihan ka na mag-hire ka na, they will say na your start date will be March 15. So, March 15 ka mag-start. Then, if you're still working with, eto pala, sa interview, they will ask you normally if you're working. So, I always say na, nag-resign na ako, I'm just surrendering para hindi siya red flag. Then, if they ask you, can you start on March 15? Yes, agad yan.
Okay, got it. Thank you for the tip.
Welcome.
Next, there's a question from Gigi.
Sorry
On the,
na.
It's okay.
Sorry na po. Are there a lot of opportunities if, as you mentioned, more and more people are slowly trying to start a career? There are a lot. How do I say it? Every day sa onlinejobs.ph, ang daming posts or job posts na linalagay. So, that's why applying 10 over 10, yung 10 over 10 kasi yung sa onlinejobs.ph na nakalagay eh. And then, on top of that, at least 5 emails a day na a-applyan mo on top of the 10 over 10. I don't think na hindi ka ma-hire in a span of 1 month or weeks or so. Madaming nag-a-apply kasi nag-boom yung freelancing eh. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na they're doing it right. So kaya importante na yung foundation nyo is very strong. You were able to craft your CV, you were able to optimize your profile kasi yun yung best foot forward mo to really start. I hope I answer your question. You're welcome. Tapos in your in ChatGPT pala, di ba you already have the access. You can also add this extension AI PRM for ChatGPT, punta kayo sa Google Chrome, then add nyo yung extension because this will give you this option na ganito siya. So, meron na siyang prompts. You can just search, for example, SEO optimized.
Hi, Meg. Sorry. Pwede pa zoom in.
Ay, sorry po.
Ay, thank
So,
you.
eto yung, ay, sorry. Eto yung 𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗃. Ito yung i-search nyo sa extension. Tapos, add nyo lang. Ito siya. You can also add yung Grammarly check para automatic may grammar check yung ano nyo.
Question next. Saan mo nakuha yung installer ng ChatGPT?
Ano lang, ginugol ko lang.
So pwede lang siya sa Google makuha.
Oh,
Okay.
ChatGPT ka, tapos, ito yung ano siya, ito yung link. Click mo lang, or I can just copy and paste the link here, and you can download it. I mean, not really an app, but ano siya, link, sinend ko na.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Or, eto na lang, para direct talaga. So, very helpful siya. Any niche na gusto mong start, ChatGPT is the key. Matalino yan. Char. So, any other questions that I can help you with? Wala na? We still have 4 minutes.
I'm good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Goods na ko, Megs. Thank you kaayo.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Megs.
Yes, all good, Megs. Thank
Yes.
you so much for the time.
Yes, you're very much welcome, guys. So, yung link, the CV or the PDF, I will just send it sa GC. So, mag-create ako ng GC after this. So, you guys can use it as a reference. So, don't copy-paste it kasi baka in-applyan nyo din yung in-applyan ko before. So, mahalata nila yan. But, just modify it. Just do research. Use ChatGPT. So, yun. Since wala na kayong questions, thank you guys for attending. This is my first time doing this. And I'm so happy na share ko I was able to share the things that I learned during the process of me transitioning from BPO industry to freelancing career. And the good thing about you working with a client, it will also improve your communication skills because you will be talking to them daily and speaking in English. So yeah, thank you guys. Stay safe, and I'll just add you to the group chat. Yeah, let's go wave 1. Kaya nyo yan.
Thanks, Megs.
Yes.
Thank you, Megs.
Thanks, Megs.
Bye guys. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.